It's so beautiful.
My pillowcase have caught all the dreams you had last night. Lingering everywhere in the thought of you at night. Will you be coming back and throwing small pebbles at my window? I would wake up and smile instead of being trapped in limbo. I'm up for it and down for everything that you say. I can't break loose from wanting you this bad, captivating like mad.
So I have a piece of driftwood on the beach, and I would just like to see if I can get something from it.
Both of you treated me like a weekend to a mystery in your eyes that is deeper than the sea. I wonder when I want to find and miss you. I'm staying here, hypnotized. I'm attached to you like glue.
There are actually a lot of people here, so the opportunities for I'm making excuses. I really should be jumping into the right locations for the right shots, but I'm actually just enjoying sitting here. It's beautiful. So I'm going for long exposure. I had to take off the polarizer. Sometimes the polarizer helps with the color, but in this case, it really didn't. It didn't work for the image. It was giving me different, varying degrees of shadow in different parts of like the sky and stuff, and so it really was best just to take it off. I have on the 7-stop neutral density filter and the 3-stop graduated neutral density filter, but I'm going to probably take those off very shortly because it is getting dark very quickly. Okay, I still have on the 3-stop neutral density, the 7-stop neutral density, and I'll see what I can get. I may have to take those off. The bugs are out. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Just amazing. I love how the color reflects on the shore that's in the sky. Amazing. and it's absolutely beautiful. There are only a few people on the beach now walking, and I think I've hit upon a few good compositions. So right now I've got a 30-second exposure going, ISO 50, no filters at all, the 70-300 lens on, and I'm loving the curve of the coast with the still sort of lit up water, and it's just amazing. The only thing is, it's almost impossible for me now to get a shot where it's just sharp and there's no movement in the water because it's gotten so dark. So I'm up at f13, -1 of an exposure value, and I'm still at ISO 50, 20 seconds, and I'm gonna go again. Hey guys, so it's 4:23 in the morning. I got up around 2:30 to use the washroom, and I stepped outside of the van, and the stars were incredible. Like, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they were so bright. There are so many of them. It is absolutely beautiful. So I got out my camera and I decided to try that night sky shooting. So I did make a few mistakes. I don't have an awful lot of opportunities to do night sky, but I am still pleased with it because what an adventure. How exciting. So the first thing I did was static star shots. So no star trails, and the biggest mistake I think I made was when I was facing towards the North Star. I had a little bit of the van in the foreground, which normally would be good, except I had these window covers in the front right, and I don't really think that they made a great foreground. They look kind of fuzzy and like, what is that kind of thing. But that's okay. I got a few other shots that I think that I like. I was guessing at the focus. I do remember with this lens that I'd go to infinity and then back just a wee bit, and that was kind of my perfect focus point. But that is my guess from past experience, and I could have mistaken that a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure on the perfect focus. I didn't want to be outside a whole lot. I just this is my first solo camping trip, right? So I just went out, I set up the tripod and the camera right outside my van window, and I used my remote control. So ISO 2500, sometimes ISO 3200, and doing the star calculation, I didn't go over 25 seconds. Usually about 20 seconds, f2.8, that's what this lens gives me, and I would hit the shutter button and then count in my mind, and then just hit the shutter button again. So we'll see. Partway through the photo shoot, the moon started to rise, and so that is not ideal for what I wanted to do next, which was star trails, but it was okay, I think. So one of my favorite static shots is this one. I really like the tree. The other thing that is a little bit tricky is the breeze in the trees. I mean, you're doing long exposure shots here, so I don't know yet if my leaves are out of focus. But I did that, and I did manage to capture some star trails. So for that star trails shot, I did ISO 160. I couldn't remember if I needed 100 or 200, but I did 160. Let me just double check that. Yes, I'm telling you the truth. 160 f2.8, and it was 45 minutes. And I didn't know where the North Star was. I wasn't sure if I was going to shoot with the beautiful tree in the background or just towards the front of the car. And I had to re-download on my phone the star chart app. Being inside my van and looking up at the stars, and there were so many. Normally I can easily pick out the Big Dipper and then find the North Star, but I just couldn't because there were so many stars and there were so many trees and leaves in the way. So there's this cool app called Star Chart. So the app, as I move around, it shows me the stars and constellations, and it is AR, it's augmented reality. So it's showing me in real time wherever I point it, that is wherever I point it, that's where the stars are. So Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto are all that way. They're all right over there, which is so totally cool. And I can see, actually, I think it's Saturn or Jupiter is bright in the night sky tonight. And I saw a shooting star. It was so amazing. I kind of feel like that's this trip. This trip is illustrated by that shooting star. And yeah, so that is called the Star Chart app, and it uses GPS. It'll do it wherever you are on the earth, and it's actually really, really cool. So I'm just looking at it. It's very cool. The foreground, that window thing with the van, is out of focus. Everything else, the star trails and the trees, look to be in focus, maybe a few leaves out of focus. And the moon was rising. It actually kind of looks like a daylight shot. So it's going to take a little bit of editing, but I'm still really happy. I've never really successfully done a star trail shot before, and I guess I still haven't, but I've only tried it once before. So this is kind of neat. And I suppose it's time to actually get some sleep, although it's so exciting. I lay back on my pillow and I just look out the windows, and all I see are all the stars. Amazing. I love it. Good night, guys.